So okay, mm, I will tell you what kind of data types are there in Java. Before we discussing about data types, so I showed you how to create a how to create a project, package and classes, right? Do you have any doubts in that? Or are you clear? Can you create classes by your own in Eclipse? You can reply me through chat. If you have any doubts, you can unmute and talk. Otherwise, you can reply through chat. Yes or no? If you have any doubts, unmute and ask. Okay, good. Hari, you are also okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. So, before we discussing about data types, I will tell you what does it mean by data. Okay. So, can any one of you tell what does it mean by data or information? If someone asks you about information, what kind of details he will tell you? Yeah, tell me, Hari.
It would be my name, date of
Yeah,
birth, my
yeah,
name, date of birth,
yeah,
education details,
yeah,
and the company I work for,
yeah. Good. Yeah, that's it. Good.
and experience I have.
Experience you have, what is your mobile number, address, this kind of
Yeah,
information
skill
you will
set.
give, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you look at them, one is name, that will that is nothing but alphabet, right? Sequence of alphabet. Hari Kishore, it's a sequence of alphabet. Okay. And other thing you mentioned is your age or your salary, your work experience. All those are numeric values. Okay. So any data will exist in two forms, either as sequence of alphabets or numeric. In the form of alphabets or in form of uh, in the form of numerics only, you will represent the data, right? So to carry these alphabets or to carry these numeric numbers, we have data types. Okay, data exists in mainly two forms. We have data types to carry the data. Okay, there are totally 8 data types. Before discussing about each and every data type, first let me segregate into two types. Okay, we discussed that data will exist in two forms. One is numeric, other is alphabet. Okay, to carry alphabets, we have something called char. Okay, we don't call it as alphabet in programming, we'll call it as char. Sequence of characters is known as string, but string is not a data type in Java. String is a class. So to carry alphabets, we have a data type called char. Sequence of char is known as string. Okay. If you discuss about data types, you can forget about string. Char is a data type to carry alphabets, and to carry numeric values like 2, 3, these kind of stuff, we have something called int. Okay. So remember these two. If someone asks about data, uh, start it from here. Data will exist mainly in two forms, either alphabets or numeric values. To carry alphabets, I have char. To carry numbers, I have int. Okay, start with these two. Then we will go ahead with remaining ones. Okay, in programming, uh, you can store data in the form of characters and integers. That is fine. We will take some decisions, right? Or if I ask some question, you will answer me with yes or no. So to carry this yes or no type, I need some data type, right? Like if I ask you, what is your gender? Are you male or female? You will tell me something. If I ask you, are you male? You will say yes. If I ask, are you female? You will say no, right? So to carry this yes or no kind of stuff, I need one more data type. To carry yes or no kind of stuff, I have a data type called boolean. In boolean, here you don't store yes or no, you will store either true or false. True is true represents as, false represents no. Okay. So boolean accepts two values, either true or false. True represents S value, false represents no value. Okay. And we have char, int and boolean. And what are those remaining five? And why do we need them? That I will explain now. Along with int, to carry numeric values, we have three more: byte, short, int, long. The difference between byte, short, int, long is the length. The number of bits they are carrying is different from one to other. In case of byte, you can carry only 8. In case of short, you can carry only 16. In case of int, you can carry only 32. In case of long, you can carry only 64. Okay. Why do we need these many means? If I wanna carry a small numeric value like 2 or 3, if I declare it as int, it's waste of memory, right? Like if I wanna represent a value to, I need small space. Even 8 bits are enough for me to represent it, because bit means it will be either 0 or 1. So using 8 locations, I can easily represent 2. But if I wanna represent some 1000, I cannot represent it in byte. If I wanna represent some 5000, or not 5000, around 60,000, something like that. If I wanna store some big figure, I can store it only in int. If I wanna declare some numeric value which is in crores, like 8,000 crores, 9,000 crores, something like that, some huge numbers, I cannot store it in either byte or short or int. I can place them only in long. Like that, based on the numeric value you are going to store, you can choose one of them. Why they have provided these many means, if you want to store a small number, if you declare long, you are wasting so many memory locations, right? So in programming, it's two things are very very important. One is performance, second is memory. You need to uh, write a program in such a way that it will occupy very less memory and will execute in quicker time. As a programmer, you should take care of these two. Okay. So we have byte, short, int, long to carry numeric values only. The difference is their length. Okay. Byte can carry 8 bits, short can carry 16 bits, int can carry 32 bits, long can carry 64. So based on the numeric value you are going to place, you can declare or you can choose one of them. Okay. So we covered 8 data types: char, byte, short, int, long, boolean. Now we left with two more. Those are float and double. What is the significance of float and double? We have already two variables. We have already four to carry numeric values: byte, short, int, long. Then why do we need these two, float and double? The reason is, if I have a numeric value like this, so I paid some internet bill that came as 1164.36 paise, something like that. I paid some, I bought something. Okay, that price is in some paise also. Okay, if I want to store these kind of numbers, if I store 1164.36 in any one of them, so I cannot store them in byte or short. I can go ahead with either int or long. If I store them in any one of them, it will store only this value 1164. It doesn't bother about 0.36. It doesn't store the precision value. In decimal values, the value which is after dot is known as precision. this precision value won't be carried in any one of them. In any one of the four you cannot carry. Okay, so if you want to carry some decimal values, you want to store some decimal values, you should store only in either one of them, either float or double. You should choose. If you don't store them in float or double, you will miss this data. 0.36 won't be stored. Even you put 1164.36 in int, it will store only 1164. It will discard that value .36. That's the problem you will get. But if you store them in float and double, it will store the precision value also along with the numeric value. Then what is the difference between float and double? Here also the difference is length only. Float can carry 32 bits and double can carry 64 bits. So if you wanna store a normal decimal value, then you can go ahead with the float. If you wanna store a big decimal value, then you should choose double. So totally to carry these numeric and alphabets, we have 8 data types. To carry numbers and alphabets, we have 7: char, byte, short, int, long, float, double. And to take decision, after taking the decision to carry either true or false, we have boolean. So totally we have 8 data types. The purpose of data types is handling the data. Is it clear for everyone? Okay, good. So don't by heart it. Okay, if you understand the difference between each and every data type, if you remember in this way, no, it will be easy for you. In if you attend any Selenium interview, if they start with Java, definitely they will ask what are the data types in Java, how many are there. Okay, tell them in some sequence, then they can relate to it. If you directly tell there are 8, and if you tell them no, then they will suspect you, right? This guy by hearted all those data types like that. Okay, just follow some sequence, and if you explain them in this manner, no, that will be really great. So you can store the data in two types. So numeric data can exist mainly in two forms, either numerics or alphabets. So to carry alphabets, we have carry, and I can segregate to these many like that. If you explain, no, that will be really. So this is about data types. And now variables. What does that mean by variable? So variable is simple. So if I say int I equal to 2, I is known as variable. Okay, the purpose of variable is it will carry some data. So using variables only we will store the data. Okay, so data will be stored in memory, right? To address that, to point to that memory location, we need some address. That address will be stored in variables. So if I say int I equal to 2, the 2 value will be stored in memory with some address location 100 or 200 or 300. That address will be stored in I. Okay. So using I, you can go to that memory location and you can retrieve value. So the purpose of variable is it will store the address location. Okay. So the difference between local variable and global variable is there are mainly two types of variables: global variables and local variables. So the difference between them is I have a method called method 1. So I have two methods like this. If I declare int j here, I can use it in both the methods. So system.out.println will print the value to the console. But if I declare something here, so I declared I here, right? Int I equal to 2. If I try to print this value here, I it will give me some error. What it is saying? Create local variable I. The reason for it is, if you declare something inside a method, these are all known as methods. If you declare a variable inside a method, the scope is limited to this. So you can use it only within this method. If you declare some variable within a method, you can use it only within that method. You cannot use it outside of the method. Okay? So these are all known as local variables. Local variable means a variable which is declared inside a method that can be used only within the method. You cannot use it outside. If you try to use it outside, you will get the compilation error like this. You will get an error. But if you declare something at class level, so irrespective of a method, if you declare them at class level, within the class, if you declare it, that is known as global variable. Global variables can be accessed in any one of the methods. So you can use it in any one of the methods. That is the difference between local and global variable. If you declare something at class level, that is known as global variable, it can be accessed anywhere within the class. But if you declare something within the method, you can use it only within the method. So if you want to use a variable in more than one method, declare it here, declare at class level. Then you can use it anywhere. If you want to use a variable within the method, if you don't want to use it outside, then declare it like this. So based on your requirement, you can declare a variable as either global variable or local variable. Okay, clear? Now, constants. What does it mean by constant? What does it mean by constant? How can I make something as constant? So I declared into j equal to 0, right? Here I am changing the value, j equal to 2. So let me declare that static. So j equal to 2. If I print the value j, then 2 will be printed. See, 2 is printed here. That means that I changed the initial value. Initial value equal to 0. I changed it to 2 and I am printing it. If you are able to change something, can you call it as constant? You don't call it as constant, right? Constant means if you put some value there, it shouldn't be changed forever. Forever it shouldn't be changed. Then only we'll call it as constant. So if you want to declare constants in Java, or if you want to make some variable as constant, you should keep a keyword called final. You say final in front of a variable, then you cannot change its value. You cannot change its value forever. So if someone asks how can you declare a constant value in Java, you have to tell them that I will keep a keyword called final in front of the variable. If I put final keyword in front of the variable, then it will become constant in Java. Okay, final keyword will be used to make some variable as constant in Java. Is it clear? What is global variable? What is local variable? How can we make a variable as constant? It's clear, right? If you have any doubts, you can unmute and ask. Tell me something. I am waiting for your reply. Okay, good. Hari, you are also fine, right? Okay, good. So after each and every topic, I will stop like this. If you are good, just say okay, something like that. I will proceed. Otherwise, I will stop. Yeah. Now we will discuss about classes, objects, and methods. and we'll start the session for today. So it is very, very important. What does it mean by class in Java? So class means anything which will describe real-time entity. You can make anything like a class. I have a building. I can make it like a class. Okay, class describes the behavior of the class describes the behavior of any real-time entity. So I'm a human being. I can make a class out of it. So there is a TV in front of me. I can create like a class. I will travel daily by bike. Okay, I can make it like a class. So anything, any real-time entity, I can make it like a class. So class typically contains two things. One is variables. Variables are there to carry the data, and second thing is methods. Method means the action what the class can do. Okay, I will explain it with some example, then you can easily understand. Class. Okay. Let me make a human as a class. So if you take a human, what kind of data he will carry? So as Hari mentioned earlier, if I ask him about his details, he will tell his name, age, everything, right? So that is the data for any human being. Private. So what does it mean by private and all, we'll discuss later. So private string name. Or forget about private, even you don't keep private, nothing will happen. Yeah. So data carries a data type, but sequence of characters is known as string. I told you, right? So we will declare alphabets. If you wanna carry some sequence of alphabets, you will declare it as string. Okay. You will declare it like a string. So every human being contains name, right? So I will declare a variable called string name. Then int age. So everyone will contain age, and string address will stay somewhere, right? So that's address. So there are so many things like every human you can ask what is the marital status, is single or not, uh, anything. If you take marital status, either it's true or false, right? Is single. So if I am married, I will say, if someone asks, are you single? I will say, if I am married, if someone asks, are you single? I will say no. If I am uh, if I am single, if someone asks, is single? Are you single? Then I will say yes, like that. So those kind of information also I can carry. So if I wanna store yes or no, I will keep boolean, right? Like that. In a class, to describe the data, to carry the information of that real-time entity, I will define variables. Okay. And methods means the actions what I can do. So a human being can talk, right? So it is one of the actions. So it will become a method in the class. And he can walk. He can listen. Like that, what are the actions that can be performed by that real-time entity will become methods in the class. So typically a class contains two things. Variables, the purpose of them is to carry the data of that real-time entity, and methods. Methods represents the actions that real-time entity can do. Okay, so a class can contain two things. One is variable, second is method. To make it more clear, I will create one more class called vehicle. So for a vehicle, what kind of data you will store? String, registration number, and string color. What kind of color?
Make, model,
Yeah, model. And
build type,
come again?
build type.
I
The
didn't get
build
it.
type, body build type.
Yeah. String build type. Or I said vehicle, right? So it can be either two-wheeler or four-wheeler. So I can ask you a question like this: Boolean is two-wheeler, like that. So if it is a two-wheeler, you will store true value there. If it is a four-wheeler, you will store false.
I have a doubt.
Yeah. Ask me that.
In string registration number, you'll get int, right? So it's a combination of a character and char and int.
Yeah. Within a so in numeric values you cannot keep strings. You cannot keep characters. So if I declare int I cannot keep C or B or something like that. It will give me the error. But if I declare something as string, I can keep both characters and numerics. So inside a string, it will accept both.
Okay.
AP28CF1290. This is my bike number. So within a string, you can keep anything. So because numeric means it is only, integer means it is only numeric values. But if I call string, it is a sequence of characters. Characters can be either alphabet or numeric. Anything can be accepted as character.
Okay.
Okay, Rajan?
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, good. So what kind of action a vehicle will do? Vehicle can move from one place to other place, right? So void move. So this is class. So you can make anything as a class. If I take Hari as a class, I will define public class Hari, and what kind of actions he can do will become methods. So all the actions what we defined in human class, I can define it for Hari, like that. You both are attendees of this class, right? So I can make attendee like a class. So it will carry the name will become one of the variable, and the location where you are from, what is your education qualification, everything will become the data or will become variables in the class. And what are the actions you are doing? You are attending the class, you are listening the class, so listen is the action there. Like that, I can define a class for that also. If I take any real-time entity, I can make a class out of it. Now, what does it mean by object? Object means the real-time entity is nothing but the object. Class means which describes the real-time entity. Object means that real-time entity is nothing but object. So if I say vehicle as a class, it will just describe the vehicle. There is no real-time existence for it. I have my CBG bike. Class just describes it. It will just say that vehicle contains a registration number, it has a color, it has a model, it has build type, and it will store whether it is a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Okay, that is class. Object means my CBG bike is nothing but the object. If you have a car, you have some Audi car, then Audi car is the object. So if you have a class, you can create multiple objects, because if I describe a vehicle, I can create many vehicles, right? With that behavior, I can create many vehicles. I can create a CBG vehicle, I can create a Pulsar vehicle, I can create a Audi car, I can create a BMW, anything. So vehicle just class just describes the behavior of object. Object is nothing but real-time existence for class. I will tell you with another example. I have a construction plan. Okay, I built some construction using that. The construction plan is nothing but the class. It just describes the construction. How will it look like in future? You cannot live within the construction plan, right? it just reside on the paper. You cannot live within it. Okay, it will just describe how will it look like. But using that construction plan, I can make n number of construction with some apartment construction plan. I can build 10 apartments, right, with the same plan. So those 10 apartments are known as objects of this class. So I can make the construction plan as a class and the constructions as building. I can call constructions as objects of that class. Okay, there is no real-time existence for the class. It will just describe the behavior of the objects. Objects are nothing but the real-time existence for the class. Whatever you have described, if I build it, then that will become object. Okay, how to create an object for the class means, so in Java, every variable should contain a type. So I have vehicle, our human class is there, right? Here there are two attendees. You both are human beings. So I wanna create objects. I wanna make each one of you as an object for human class. Okay. Mm, so first object name is Hari. Okay. To create an object, the keyword you should use is in Java. There is a keyword. There will be a keyword for each and every action. Okay, if you wanna make some variable as constant, I told you, right, you should use final in front of that. Like that, if you wanna create an object, there is a keyword called new, and you should specify for which class you are going to create. I am going to create object for human class, so I will say new human. So the object will be created in memory. To reference it, to reference the address location of that object, I need a variable, right? So I named that variable as Hari. If I create object for human class, what is the type of the variable? It will definitely become human only, right? If I create object for human class, then the type will become human only. So for every variable, you should define the type. If you are storing a string value, you will say string s equal to. If you are storing an integer value, you will say int I equal to. Like that, if you are storing a human object, then the type will become human. So that's why I should define, I should create a human object like this. Human as a type, and I will give a name here. I can give anything. I can give Dev, Hari, or Rajan, anything. Even I give A or B, it will allow me, but it's good to give some meaningful values as variables. Because if you give A, B, C, D, no one can understand, right? But if I say Hari, then people will assume that okay, they are going to store the details of Hari. Like that they will assume. So it's good to give some meaningful names. Okay. Now there is something called setters and getters. So to store the values there, we have something called. So there is a concept called encapsulation. At that time, I will explain you why do we need these getters and setters. For now, I am directly creating. So for each and every variable, there will be a setter and getter. Using get name, I will get the value within that variable. Using set name method, I will set the value of it. Using get age, I will get the age of the object. I will using set, I can set the value for that. Okay. So if I define some methods in a class, I can call them on top of the object. So on top of Hari, I can call them. When we make them as private, I will tell you the significance of private also later. So Hari dot set address. You are in US. So I am not giving the complete address. If you wanna give complete address, you can give it there. I'm just saying. So some age. What is that? Hari dot set name. So here I will give your name. Hari Kishore. So Hari dot set single. I am assuming that you are single, so I am putting true here. Now, to carry the details of Rajan, I will create one more object. I told you, right? If I have a class, I can create a number of objects for it. New human. Okay. Here, I will say Rajan dot set address. Assuming, so assume that he is in UK. So I will keep UK there, and Rajan dot set age something 25 again, and Rajan dot set name. Here I will give his name, and Rajan dot set single true. So now this object carries the information of Rajan, and this object carries the information of Hari. If I want to carry my details, I will create one more object. Like that, if I have a class, I can create n number of objects. As I told you, each object represents a real-time entity. So human class describes what a human being contains. What a human being can contain. A human being contains a name, contains address, contains age, contains, so we can say whether he is single or not. Like that, few data we can carry along with the human being. So it just described it. But Rajan and Hari are the real-time existence for that class. So those are two human beings. So I can create a class, I can create an object to carry the details of Hari, I can create another object to carry the details of Rajan. So there are 600 crores people, there are more than 600 crore people in this world. So if I want to carry information of each and every person within this world, I will create 6,600 crore objects. Each human being is nothing but the object. So to carry their details, I will create an object for it. Like this it will work. Class describes the behavior of object. Object is nothing but real-time existence for the class. So how can you create an object? Like this. You will define the type and you will give some name for that variable which will store the address of the object, and after the equal to you will say new keyword will be used to create the object, and you should define the class name, right? For which class you are going to create the object. So this is the way to create the object. After creating the object, using setter you can set the data. If you want to get the data, you can call the getter. So after setting it, if I want to get Hari name, Hari object name, I can say it like this. System.out.println is there to print some value to the console. If I say system.out.println Hari.getName, so the name what I set here, that I can get it through getName maybe. So setters are there to set some value to the object, getters are there to retrieve that value from the object. Like this it will work in real time. Is it clear for you both? What does it mean by class? What does it mean by object? If someone asks you, can I explain them? Good. So I will give you a small exercise. You are living in an apartment or some house, right? Some independent house. So I need a class to describe that building where you are staying right now. Okay. What kind of data you will carry along with the building? It's up to you. Just create a class for me. In tomorrow's class, I will check that. Okay. What kind of data you want to carry along with that, and what kind of actions, what kind of tasks a building can perform, they will become methods. Just define them and create objects also. Create objects also for that. Okay, I will just check them tomorrow session and we'll go ahead with the next topic. Is it fine with you both?
Yeah, Dev, okay.
Yeah, good.
Hello.
So yeah,
Can
Rajan, do you have any doubt?
can you send me this video?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You
Okay.
shared your email ID, right? Hari, did you give me your email ID?
I will WhatsApp you. Yeah, you have it, but I will
I
still
have it,
WhatsApp you.
right? I have it. I have already mailed, I guess.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, then I will send it. No problem. Okay, I will
Okay.
send you this recording. So I cannot transfer it through my Gmail. I will transfer it through transferbigfiles.com. Okay, there is a website to transfer big files, but the limitation is you need to download within 24 hours. If you don't download, the download will be gone. Okay, it will be expired. Okay.
Okay.
So I will send it within 30 minutes. Try to download after 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Bye. We'll meet tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. IST.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.